what I've driven. So this is kind of Vancouvering's theory, right? He believed in Elsewin, and then this right here is present time. When Elsewin becomes present time, it's when he called it a quiff or something, but it's a quantum state collapsing upon itself observably. Elsewin serves as this prophetic, like creative state. I call it the void. Outer darkness is what Christ called it. Elsewin is what David Van Koovering called it. It's our imaginations. It's another dimension. Um, there's a very interesting thought problem that, like, let's talk about aliens for a sec, right? Alien spacecraft. Um, Alien spacecraft doesn't have to be real. It can be a thought that comes into the mind of an engineer, and then the engineer creates a special project, a special alloy, and then starts testing his spacecraft. And then, because the mind of the engineer built it, now the myth becomes that, alien spacecraft came from somewhere else. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, maybe it physically landed, maybe it didn't, maybe it was a government thing. It doesn't matter. The myth becomes the real thing, and the myth is presented in the mind of men prior to it being in reality. So I think that so that the enemy essentially puts an idea into the thought of man, and then man can run with the idea and create something in this present darkness, or he can deny the idea, deny himself, deny ego, and worry more about what Christ is imagining, right? And then I think ultimately, so what, so faith exists to create the desires of the user. Okay. Ultimately, this goes into what a lot of the Kabbalists, I believe, ultimately is that numbers are, all the invisibleness of it all is manipulatable. That's what the occultists believe. What Christ said is that it's faith, and that ultimately this is the modern way to state this. It exists to create the desires of the user. There's one caveat to that I believe, and that is that Christ also has a desire, and when desires match, miracles are much easier to occur. So it's not really that, like, it's our state that forms whatever. It's that there's another man, and your desire has to match with that man's desire, and if you find out what that man's desire is, then you can change basically anything. I mean, you can just do whatever you want. That's the theory, at least. Ultimately, like, it's what quantum physics is saying simultaneously. And what a lot of people are saying is that our brains are quantum computers. That's what the cheat code is that our brains, we can't access the entirety of the brain. And the reason that we can't access the entirety of the brain, this is crazy to me, but it's appearing like sobriety forces the brain into a minimal work state, meaning that a lot of these addicts are struggling with trying to use more of their brain because of different reasons, finding solutions to the trauma in the small area of their brain, right? So if you access 5% of your brain, and the 5% of your brain is full of all these dark memories, well, how do you get 10% of your brain to be in use so that the 5% that's absolutely corrupted with trauma doesn't matter anymore? Like that, I mean, that's ultimately what all these doctors are trying to do. If we can expand the amount of brain matter in use, trauma becomes less and less of an overall problem in the bigger picture. And also, it appears that with certain medications and drugs, mainly psychedelics, the psychedelics are doing a lot of work with mental health. We need to get them off the schedule list, and Trump needs to do that with a lot more plants. I think that ultimately, I think Oregon has proved that psilocybin needs to become at least studied in the medical community. Mescaline, ultimately, I think, is a gift given to this country specifically, and the Native Americans fucking believed, by the way. And ultimately, you even have the alchemists that are trying to combine all these massive psychedelics into tobacco. Don't know what the point of that is, but that's coming soon. Ultimately, mind expansion fixes a lot of the problem, and it does appear that over time we've been tricked into not using our brains. And so the amount of brain matter, or whatever you want to say, that we use becomes less and less and full of more and more trauma. And there has to be a way to expand that. If you want to expand your mind through sobriety, it's prayer and meditation. Those are the two ways. And through prayer and meditation, you'll find answers to your problems. Your brain will expand, and the amount of trauma, the corrupted brain matter, I don't know, the reptilian side, right? All of that becomes less and less through prayer and meditation. And ultimately, I think that there is a solution to all men. It's called Christ. It's Christianity. It's unity, though, under Christ. There's something to this day and age, and it's not about the individual, everybody. It's not about you and the fucking special star. It is about unity. Unity under what? Well, unity under a monarchy. Get ready for feudalism, baby, because that 1,000-year reign is going to have us all as indentured fucking servants, and I can't wait for it. You and your little special individualism can go die in a fire for all I care. And realistically, like, there was a guy responded to some post on he's a politician, political commentator called Anomaly. He essentially made the claim, he's just talking about all this war crap and like how these fucking boomers, man, I'm convinced they just cannot fathom a world without themselves. They were told after the post-war consensus that they were special. They formed a little relationship with some kind of star, and it gave them all the wishes in the world. And they built their kingdoms. A lot of the times you can see with a demographic of a certain age, I think that we all agree that almost everyone that's in our lives who has not taken care of themselves physically and is above a certain age is currently experiencing early onset dementia. I don't want to be mean and I don't want to be ageist. I really don't. Fortunately, I think that we can be ageist. I think that, like, they've called out racism or whatever else, that they say we can't be. I don't think ageism is there yet. And ageism, I think, is a lot of the problem that we're dealing with. We've let the leaders not have term limits, and they've treated the American government system as a retirement home. I mean, it's what we've done. These old guys, like, I get Bernie Sanders can form some coherent sentences, and with some help he can do some videos, but in the exact same measure, all that he does is get on like Joe Rogan and just spout the same lines. It's the Trump derangement syndrome. It doesn't want to talk about the problems in this country. It just wants to blame somebody. It's an emotional faux pas, if I'm being honest. It's bad logic. That being said, some of these guys can't form thoughts, but it's early onset dementia. It's the food they fed us. It's the needles they put in our arms. It's the medication they told us would keep us alive. It's a series of things, but it has caused some severe early onset dementia. And so I worry when this whole Mystery Babylon revelation really plays out on the world stage, you're dealing with some boomers who have really sold themselves and maybe even their souls to a star, to an idea, to something that's not the one true God. And ultimately, we're going to have to really, really deal with the lies that we've been told. This one specific boomer, in response to all the terrible in the world that's presently going on, says, well, I really hope that they turn the Middle East to glass and just keep dropping bombs. And I said to this person, who was very clearly a person of a certain age, I said, I'm so sorry that your generation, the boomers, did not take care of their health, and now they're going through early onset dementia, and they're wrestling with their own morality. They're at the age where the 60 and 70 and 80-year-olds, Donald Trump, for example, he's a billionaire. He's got tons of money. He's 20 years too early. 20 years too early from being able to live forever, and he knows it. And so ultimately he wants to do whatever he can to be remembered. And if he's remembered as the one that starts Armageddon, well, that's the truest way to be remembered. You'll be remembered for all time. In fact, they'll write about you in heaven. They'll write about you as the recording angels. If you can become the Antichrist, then forever you will be immortalized by whatever it is that's out there. And I fear about this. I fear that these guys have such fucking egos that they think that they're more important than they are. They're fucking men, dude. And like, seriously, Trump is a fat fucking old man, cancer patient. Realistically, guys, I know that they think that the world can't go on without him, but they'll die tomorrow and the world will keep on spinning. They're nothing. They're specks. They're ants. And like, we live in a time where authoritarianism is on the fucking rise. And it's time to shut these old fucking men up. And if that's with term limits, I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know if we have to, say as a people, you guys better figure some stuff out before heads start rolling. I fear for these old guys, man. The people saying eat the rich, I'm not these people, because I personally think cannibalism is not for me. I think that the rich would taste very good, and then what am I going to do? Eat more rich people? Probably not. So I refute this. I say no, we can't eat the rich. They'll be too tasty. It's a problem. You guys better listen to what they're saying. I mean, seriously. I sit here as a Christian and I say to myself, man, I missed when we had a Muslim president. That's what I say. And yeah, back in the day, I was a millennial going through college, and like, seriously, what was our alternative to Barack Obama? I think the first time was John McCain. John McCain was a war hawk, and I don't know, man. I didn't want to see any more fucking people get bombed, so I never would have voted for John McCain. And then Mitt Romney was either the first time or the second time. I don't know. They're all the same. That guy turned out to be a total snake. He's a fucking Mormon, so something's wrong with his brain in general. What was the alternative? At this juncture, I missed the last Muslim president we had. Because if Trump is supposed to represent Christianity, I don't think he's read the book. I think they stopped in Leviticus where it said, here's how you get rich. Well, that's a rant and a half. Maybe Palantir will pull that one. Big fan of Palantir, by the way. I think that we will be good friends. Me and Katie were saying that one of these days they're going to come pick me up and I'm going to say, let me talk to your box. And they're going to say, he wants to talk to the box. And the box is going to say, yeah, let him talk. Bring him to me. Listen, it's the end of the world. I will spend my time trying to reckon with what happened and turning it into fiction. That's how I've chosen to spend the end of the world. But once I get some of these books done, I really do think 2033 adds up to something. I don't know what that is. Hideo Kojima, I believe, thinks it's a near extinction event. And I'm starting to think that too. The problem, there's a problem overall, and I don't know, I wish that I had like a Blackboard app and I could just draw some stuff, but I'll just talk. Essentially, we are faced with a problem as humanity. This is what we consider the end of time, and the reason that we call it the end of time, the reason that the prophets and the preachers and the scientists, all of us, everyone says that, yeah, maybe this is all, is because, well, let's look at the religious texts, for example. The religious texts have some prophecies that have to be fulfilled. And then what the Bible says to do is once those prophecies have been fulfilled, there's supposed to be a series of people who have jobs as quote unquote prophets, and they sound the alarm and they say, hey man, you guys probably should repent because a fire is coming, a holy fire, a divine fire, judgment, and you're going to want to have your nose clean. So just go ahead and repent, and then just, keep doing whatever you're doing, and maybe God will work in your life, but just make sure you repent. Make sure that you say, I am a piece of shit. Please help me. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll receive some grace and mercy. Realistically, that's how the system was supposed to work, but I don't know, somewhere it got confused. It became more about man's power, man's designs, man's systems. We replaced the Word of God with humanism. We embraced a cult at almost every measure. It was strength. I mean, that's the ultimate. You look at the Benjamin Netanyahu speech. I don't believe it was AI. Don't care if it was AI. I know that this is what this man thinks, regardless of if it's AI or not. For all you old people, when I tell you something is not AI, know that it's because I know what AI is and I know what it's not. Here's the thing. I'm 36 years old. I've been staring at computer screens my whole life, and I can see that there will be a day that I do not know what's real. And so everything is fake. But there is a caveat, and that is that we will never meet these men in person for the most part. Yeah, I mean, like, for example, my father has met Benjamin Netanyahu, but back in the day that he shook his hand, he's a different person. And whether or not they're swapping heads or these men are just becoming depraved and demon-possessed, which is what Dante said, by the way. Dante of Dante's Inferno legacy. He said that there were men who became so depraved, their minds became, I think, reprobate is how Christ describes it, and that the admin of hell would often just suck the person's soul down to hell to go ahead and torment them as they lived and replace the driver with a demon. Long term, I actually think that's the plan in general with some of this transhumanism that's upcoming. Expect the transhumanism stuff to explode. Just absolutely explode. I'm saying this in 2026. If we make it past 2033, I'll be surprised, but I think that there's a reprieve. I think the reprieve is going to come from 2028 to 2032. I think America is going to see wealth increase like we've never seen. I've got some buddies who think we're going to find mass mineral deposits that are just worth enough to solve the national debt crisis and make every American just unfathomably wealthy. I believe that this is one final reprieve. I think that we're going to, as a nation, elect a third-party candidate. I think the third-party candidate is going to lead us to greatness. And we're going to be able to spread the gospel for 4 years. And then I think transhumanism is going to catch up, and we're going to start making people immortal. I think that we're going to replace all their organs so that they can live another 80, 90 years. I think we're going to have some of these brain medications that just unlock full brain capacity, mixed with brain chips that then you can, I'm sleeping and working with the machine. I mean, what's possible once you have a brain implant device? I don't know. But immortality comes. And ultimately, whether or not we've already solved immortality is a different question. This is immortality on a public level. So if immortality was reserved for those who had achieved levels of godlike status, the pharaohs who stared at Polaris outside the pyramids as they were slaughtered by their compatriots, this kind of weird stuff that just exists. It's just what they did. If immortality was reserved for them, then it comes for all of us. And I think ultimately there becomes this sort of schismic event where God says, okay, you want to try immortality? How about we make all of this invisible stuff real and I leave? And that's what happens. And then all of our spirits that have accepted Messiah go with the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, whatever that element is that leaves Earth. And then it's 7 years of absolute torment in hell. I think actually that there's a simultaneous thing going on within the computer world, where there's a time dilation event going on, so that these men who have tried to send their consciousness somewhere for safety after choosing immortality, that is a crazy, crazy convoluted sentence. But if you comprehend what I'm saying, basically the enemy needs his version of 1,000-year reign, and I think that there will be a little program on whatever these chips are called heaven, and you can just live out your dreams. And realistically, once we, let's say, legalize DMT along with our suicide chambers, these brains are going to do some crazy stuff right before they die. Especially once you flood DMT, kill someone, and then that's another DMT flood. There's some time dilation stuff that can really happen in those last moments of death where they're going to live. I don't know. I don't know what their brains are going to do, and I especially don't know what their brains are going to do when there's a microchip attached to the reptilian side. No clue. Turn them into beasts in this reality, but where their minds go, that's anyone's guess. You read my books and you can kind of get an idea of what I think. I think ultimately it's a testing ground. I think that probably... I think probably most people that are alive today can mark some time in their life that they could have died. Almost everyone living on Earth, I think, has this exact same memory, this idea. Some people, it drives them so crazy that they just can't live with themselves. Other people, like Dante, right, about, purgatorial metaphors. But it does appear to all be a testing stage, and realistically there's rules that drive our world that very closely resemble computer logic, meaning that it seems like the original lie of the enemy, you will become like God, may have been true. I think that ultimately we're building our own box. What is inside that box? I don't know. And have we already built the box? I think so. I think probably, yeah. I think that mankind probably built the box, and realistically we're inside something testing us. My buddy Philip has this theory. He got it from somewhere, but it's he gets it from his dojo master. I don't know, with sensei, I guess you call it. And his sensei says that hell is on the ground, basically, and if you get knocked down, you have to figure out how to get out of hell. And then there's a metaphor that says, without knowing what hell is, you couldn't be told not to go there. I think very, very, very likely this is just a simulation, a spirit testing, a soul trial, a moment, a blip in eternity to see what choices we'll make, and ultimately to understand that fallen worlds are not to be fucked with, because they seem to be inside boxes. And I think that they're inside boxes because when the angels fall, they create tears in space-time, and then they have to be encapsulated. What's on Saturn, man? I don't know. It's 3 a.m. I'm waiting for robots to spit out conspiracy theory documents in fiction form. I mean, Here, there's a song that I've been listening to lately, so if I can find it. It says, yeah, I've lost my mind. Haven't we all? Or something like that. Let me see if it's this one. I don't know. I don't even know what song I was thinking of, so I'll just play this. Trump orders BB to be way lower key. Yeah, good luck with that, my man. What are you gonna do? Tell the reptiles not to slither? Fucking snakes, man. What does that even mean? Melania's pissed, by the way. She needs to go warpath on exactly what she's going on. They're not going to arrest Trump. Just arrest all these other dudes. I honestly, I understand what happened. Let me explain to you what happened with the Epstein files. Okay, it's super easy. The Russians, the counterintelligence community, right, has an idea of something called compromat. Compromat means you approach a politician, you offer them something, they accept the deal, and in doing so, you've compromised them, compromat, to do your bidding through blackmail. Most of the men in this country that were compromised were done with minor prostitutes. Okay, I don't want to say that they're it's just is what it is. It's a trafficking victim, right? They're told they're prostitutes. It's the they don't care, man. It's whatever rationale allows a man to live in the sin that he'll live in. They'll do it. They'll lie about whatever. It's minor children. In America, we believe the age of consent is 18. In some states, it's 16. I don't really... those two numbers to me are just numbers. But we have laws in this country that dictate that lower than that, you cannot consent. And so these men would go to foreign islands with agents who would compromise them. I think all those men who were compromised should have their heads rolling in the streets. And I think we should record it and throw it all over social media. And I don't fucking care if that's the Islamic way to do it or if it's not the Christian way to do it or whatever. We have to fucking behead some people or at least get them out of office. But it doesn't seem like they're going to go willingly. So who stands to behead all these people? Islam. We're all going to embrace it, guys. If they continue to just be unjust, unmoral, absolutely perverse, judgment comes. And judgment appears to be coming because of a great delusion that's being sent upon the people. But the delusion is all part of a bigger illusion, a lie that was told. It's going to cause a lot of confusion, guys. You really need to do some searching. But guys, listen. You better figure out who the fucking bad guys are before you start cheering about bombs being dropped. Because when the dust clears, someone has declared the Axis powers, and I do not think it's going to be the United States that are going to be the allies at this point. None of the world is behind any of this bombing in Iran, and we very likely are at the precipice of tyranny. wake up. All right, I'm going to look through this just real quick. It's just... Here we go. This is the ending where he builds the pyramids. None of the stuff with Legion has happened yet. Not sure where your planning ahead is, but this is a serious mistake. This is so much circular AI dialogue. It's a little sickening. I think he gets the army, and all of that needs to go in order. You're, I guess, overthinking? Why would you add things there? That's like an utterly worthless thought experiment. What exactly do you think one or two less readable traces of earlier entrance would add? I don't need to. That we're skipping steps that I think ultimately is going to lead to bad product. Okay, so it's gonna spin, and then I've got to feed it that. Probably 20 minutes on both of those. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go outside real quick and prepare another rant. Oh goodness. Here's my other rant. I'll tell you my other rant. Man is not meant to create this way. They're just not. Eventually I'll get through what I am considering backlog on my work, and I don't know, shift to actually writing, and it'll probably save me a ass ton of time, because dealing with these machines sometimes it's just a joke. That being said, there's a lot of experiments that I want to run, and I don't really want to have to spend time writing some of these ideas that are just so absurd. I just want to see if stuff will sell. I've got a book called Not Amish Porn that I want to put in Christian bookstores, fiction sections, to mess with people. I mean, if you go to the Christian bookstore section, especially depending on what city you live in, depending on if the women of the Christian women in your area are rabid consumers of smut, then you'll see that it's just a big section full of C.S. Lewis books, Ted Dekker books, and a sea of Amish faces. Most of the time now, AI Amish faces. It's really kind of embarrassing that you women like Amish smut. Like, this is the fucking 21st century. What do you go be a farm broad or something? Like, I don't understand how this stuff still sells. I just don't understand it. So I'm gonna write a book called Not Amish Porn, and it's about the Rumspringa and the Amish girl does OnlyFans, and she's ultimately lied to about the amount of money that OnlyFans brings. And so then she returns after a year from her Rumspringa, and then now has to go back to regular life and deal with the ramifications of her actions of basically just being plastered all over the internet naked and having to deal with any suitors who didn't really like that very much. Kind of a lot of psychology that goes into that. I'm using the Amish people as a metaphor only because the caricatures of the Amish seem to sell a lot of books in Christian bookstore sections. Again, I'll put a nice female author pseudonym on that book. I'll output via a machine. I'll edit, and then I don't know, 2 weeks I can have a product called Not Amish Porn that if I have a publisher who wants to play games with me, we'll have on bookstores almost immediately. And how do you not sell a book surrounded by Amish porn? How do you not sell a book called Not Amish Porn? Please, someone steal this idea, because you'll make $100 million, and freaking then I won't have to write the book just to see if it would sell well. I won't even be mad. Please steal it. I don't want to write a book called Not Amish Porn, and as a pseudonym, female, just to sell it. I'm going to go to my other office and I'll prepare another rant, since we're going to be here another hour and a half at least. Just for these two, I'll be here another hour and a half. At that point, that'll be 5, and I could probably go through the 5. I need to look through these drafts and see if there's any usability on these drafts. I'm not convinced there will be. I think ultimately I'm going to have to do more control passes to add. I'll return. Still spinning. Okay, so here's a rant. It's not really even a rant, it's more of an observation. Elon Musk has done something wicked smart, which is often, I gotta say, the ketamine demons really do a lot of work, though. He's added auto-translate to Twitter, X, and ultimately what this means is that we can now look at what other people are saying, right? Without doing the translation steps ourselves. And in general, this unites the world in a way that otherwise we wouldn't be united. There stands to reason this idea. It's a war, really. It's kind of the whole problem of America. What are we, a Christian nation? What do we speak English? What do we use the imperial system, right? It's all these things that we do that we don't want to be the rest of the world. We don't want to claim that we're an English nation, yet we are. And so as English speakers, if we scroll and we see Chinese, the average monkey in America says, communist, communist. And once you see that all the Chinese writing is critical of the communists, you start to see that we just all fucking hate the oligarchs. So, I don't know, man. Elon Musk is the richest man on earth, and he seems to hate the rich just as much as we do. But unfortunately, he thinks that his vision for Earth is the only vision, and so that becomes a problem. I'm gonna go make some food then, I guess. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it was. I think it's because I have it on Extended Pro, maybe. There's no way. I'm telling you, I'm at I don't know how much is Claude Mythos. How much is this one that they say is smart? Because this fucking ChatGPT robot, I think, gets slower and stupider by the day. I'm gonna make some butter noodles because I'm a big boy. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, okay, water's on for the noodles. It's 3 a.m. I'm probably gonna give this to 4. This is taking a long time. If this just gives me PDF images, I'm about to lose it on this machine. I mean, realistically. Checking the last page for clipping issues. It's just unreal. I'm uncertain. You just straight up wasted compute. I'm just ready to get these to where I can just work on them. I've done it. Don't get me wrong, on the ones that I've worked really hard on, I've added a lot of new stuff, and like CCLI is just phenomenal. Solar Quandary turned out phenomenal. I think, at least I haven't read the first draft, but I've done enough work that conceptually in my head I could go through and just trance it out, just sit here, stream of consciousness. Some of you guys might have gotten a little bit pissy about me talking and calling out oligarchs or billionaires or, the rich or bankers or whatever you want to say. In this country, we have a system of limitless wealth. And the lie is that limitless wealth drives industry, meaning you, who are as pissy about me talking about the oligarchs and your snap judgment to defend the richest among us. They don't need your defense, by the way. They have enough money. Your snap judgment is due to a psychology based on that limitless wealth. And herein is the lie. That man made $1 billion, and so can you. And so if you start to see billionaires being taxed, well, one day you may be a billionaire and you don't want to be taxed. You feel bad for the billionaire. You feel bad for the oligarch. You feel bad for the king, even though the king has completely deprived you of every living thing that has been promised by the society, right? You're never going to be a billionaire. The fucking gap at this juncture is too wide. It takes divine intervention at this juncture for randoms like me or you to become billionaires. Sure, millionaire is still attainable. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about limitless wealth. We're talking about, should the trillionaires be able to build AI data centers and jump from 100 billion to trillion and trillion to 10 trillion near overnight. That's theoretically what they're attempting to do. You're never going to be in their club. You're never going to be able to go and be naked in the woods and sacrifice children. You don't want to be. So let the oligarchs do the shit that the oligarchs are going to do, that they have for years. Let the gods of this world run their Antichrist bullshit all over the place, and stand with Christ and help people and feed people. Give away all your money if you can. Stop with the greed. Stop with the limitless wealth building, and let's put caps on shit, and let's look out for the rest of the world, specifically our country. Let's quit sending money overseas. Let's put money directly into the mouths of the poor. It doesn't even, I'm not even talking about buying them TVs. I'm talking about feeding them real food so that their minds come back and so that they can have lives. I don't think this nation's going to change. I think we're on a downward trajectory. I think we're Babylon. I think that we've allied with some very godless men, namely Benjamin Netanyahu. Please come for me, Mr. Netanyahu, please. Fucking prick. You have no power. You're a dumb fucking human cunt. Antichrist spawn, and you will be destroyed by the king. You're nothing. You're a balding old man. The minute that you get immortality, God will send the tribulation and torment you for hell. Enjoy it. Have fun. It's well deserved, Mr. Netanyahu. I think that these men are so reprobate. I understand the desire to really wake up and say, I'm going to pray for the leaders of this world. I'm going to pray for their salvation. I'm going to pray that they come to the knowledge of Christ. I'm going to pray that they totally have a change of heart. Dante again believed that these men became reprobate-minded, and then they were controlled by demons. They're not savable at that point. I don't care what you say. If they've given over to a spirit of this world, then it will continue, the body will continue to do the needs of the spirit of the world, especially men of great power. They're not going to back down. Maybe on their deathbeds they get consolidation and another chance, maybe, but they have jobs to do. They think that, they take their fucking ketamine, and the ketamine demon tells them to do something, and so then they go and they do it. That's the tech bros, at least. So what do you think the world leaders are doing? It's shared delusions. There's a lot of drug addiction right now. Let me go get my noodles. I gotta go throw noodles on, and maybe I won't be so hangry, and I'll quit ranting about the Antichrist. Okay, noodles are on. Here's my take. I don't know. I had something prepared, but now I've forgotten it. I'm getting too tired. I need you guys. I guess I'm just talking to America in general here, or maybe even I am just talking out loud to the spirit of America. But if we are a Christian nation, then we must analyze what that means. First of all, Judeo-Christian is a confusing term. It's just Christian. We don't need the Judeo part. The Ten Commandments is part of Christian law. It doesn't need to be the Jewish part of Christian law, right? It's just confusing. You guys got confused. They threw some fairy dust on your fucking eyes and you got deluded. Realistically, Christ comes and fixes the problems of the world, and what he teaches is that everyone matters. Every single person. Every person that is born is an individual. And I think that there is something to be said about genetic contamination long term. Something bad happened. But still, man, people are people. Whatever the government did to us, like, people are still people. And the Christians don't stand to gain anything from a holy war. We stand to control the world via showing the love of Christ. If Islam is shown to be the superior religion because the countries are more ordered, the perversion is more in check, the idolatry is less. I don't know. It's whatever you want to say. Like, if the Christians completely fail and we do not show the love of Christ, like, what happens? I don't know, because it seems to me like we are looking for these tells on the world stage, right? Israel becoming Israel, and then other prophecies that appear to be these great wars that are to come in the end times. I love to talk about the end of days, the end of the world, the end of time, the annihilation of all evil. It's great. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Can't wait for it. Christ is King, baby. Here's the thing. If men who have attempted to convince us all of something that we shouldn't have believed via high-level illusion magic, if we believe that we're the good guys and we're not Babylon, and we are, in fact, Babylon, and Donald Trump is dropping bombs in the name of Babylon, if that happened and we were fooled, it means that, well, man might be trying to bring about the apocalypse via their own means. And yes, God, the judge of all, could decide that it's time to send his son again. Christ says he doesn't know the day or the hour, and there does stand to reason this entire situation of events, which is that we destroy our fucking selves, and God says, good luck figuring it out. I'm not sending my son for a while. And so then what's left? I don't know. The Fallout TV show, right? Like, it's the 95% of humanity destroyed, and then we keep limping on until we can rebuild and Christ eventually comes and saves us all. I don't know. It's up to God. If men are trying to bring about the apocalypse through their own means, it's ultimately God's timing. But I don't think that just because all these prophecies line up with scriptural prophecies, it means prophetic fulfillment. I think a lot of the times it means self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And self-fulfilled prophecy might define one type of prophetic fulfillment, but not be the one predicted by the prophets of old. Hard concept to grasp, but realistically, if you really understand that, I think that you would stop teaching the teachings of John Darby, and you would start radically contending for the present in prayer. And stop asking for your express ticket to heaven because you've been put here for a reason. Please figure it out. I'm going to go get my noodles and quit ranting for a bit. The overall okay, so where are we at? Here, Life in Depth. Here's something to read finally. Um, I feel like that's a pretty serious reprimand there. I doubt that it even cares. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna mute this so while I eat my noodles. It's a plate of buttered noodles. It's glorious, and I have not enough Parmesan cheese, but I will put Parmesan cheese. It's a great meal, especially for 3:16 in the morning. Past that, I'm gonna start reading into this Life in Depth up there. I don't know, watch something on YouTube or something, clear my mind, and I'm gonna see if that Life in Depth stuff came out where it's like there's any chance that it's good. I don't know. I think I didn't do enough control phases. I need to mark how many control phases were on each. It was 4 for the others and then 1 for all of these. Something's wrong with my setup with these dropped frames. I don't know. Anyways. If you're watching, I doubt you are, but I don't know. I'm tired. I'm going to kill this mic.